electricians, plumbers. We need more of those in our country and less LGBTQ graduate majors from Harvard University.
I do not want the best and brightest from around the world to come to Harvard.
I do, but a lot of the people need remedial math. Did you see that? Where the students can't add 2 and 2 and they go to Harvard. They want remedial math, and they're going to teach remedial math at Harvard. No, wait a minute. So why would they get in? How can somebody that can't add or has very basic skills, how do they get into Harvard? Why are they there? And then you see those same people picketing and screaming at the United States and screaming at, they're anti-Semitic or they're something. We don't want troublemakers here. But how do people that can't, when Harvard comes out with a statement that they're going to teach some of their students remedial math, that's basic math, that's not the deal.
What do you feel is the tone on campus right now?
I would say panic. People are truly panicking because they don't know whether they will be able to come back next semester, whether campus is going to look the same. Because without its international students, Harvard is not Harvard.
The targeting of our international students is really grim. Our international students are come to Harvard because they are best in class, trying to do best research they can.
This is a campus with a lot of divisions, a lot of people who like each other, don't like each other, have fights over the past couple of years. That's what a college is. But it's the people that make it all worth it. It's the people that make it worth going here. And to take like 40% of our people and say that they can't come here, I think that is something that no matter what you do here, no matter what you're affiliated with, you just have to say that no, that just can't happen. That's not acceptable.
This is such a, unusual and frankly kind of upsetting way to end. But I think it's also important work to get the message out there and saying as a Jew at Harvard that this should not be done for our sake. We reject that narrative, and Donald Trump should stop using it.
We beat COVID, and we've beat a lot of things in the grand history of this very, very old university. And I think that Trump will not be the thing that beats us.
In the end, we do have the law on our side, and I think we have the founding values of this country on our side. Because what we're standing up for is freedom of speech, academic freedom, the right to voice dissent. I don't know about any more American value than the right to voice dissent.
You drive science forward when you bring the smartest people, put them at the table, make them compete, and ask them what their ideas are without political litmus tests. And now we're imposing political litmus tests on science, and it is devastating for the possibility of scientific progress, and devastating for all those individual careers, all those individual students. That's so much opportunity lost.
So sad for all of the students who have dreamed of going to an institution like this and have had it ripped away from them for what I can see so far as no clear and good reason. So I was hoping to study education and entrepreneurship at the Harvard Graduate School of Education and take that degree and launch schools around the world. Found out yesterday, funnily enough, after being on a Zoom with the Harvard team talking about international student affairs, that the Trump administration has decided that international students will be barred from enrolling at Harvard next year, and that all international students now will have their status revoked. I've had this dream of studying in the US, but it's devastating, and I know that there are several students now at the university who are wondering whether they're going to have to be deported or if they're even going to be able to get their degrees. So it's a moment of huge flux. I'm trying to stay strong and focus on what I can do, but it's really scary, and the uncertainty is really difficult to deal with.
To be honest, for a couple of hours, I didn't know if I was an illegal, undocumented immigrant in this country.
At the core of the United States, we were a country founded on immigrants.
We, as international students in Harvard, in the U.S., we are not enemies of the U.S. We don't hate the U.S. If we are here, it's because we admire this country.
One of our core values is being welcoming to immigrants from all across America, all across the world into American shores. And I think that we've really gotten away from that core value.
Without its international students, Harvard is not Harvard anymore. This place thrives on the fact that it can bring the best and the brightest from all around the world.
When we go back home, most of us serve as ambassadors to the country in an informal way. We go back to strengthen American ties with our countries economically, diplomatically, politically, academically.
We have some big news right now. Belgium's future queen is caught up in Donald Trump's decision to no longer allow Harvard to enroll international students. Princess Elizabeth, who is in line to be the next queen of Belgium, is currently completing a master's program at Harvard University. She completed her first year at Harvard University, went home to Belgium for the summer. And well, now the Belgian monarchy literally had to issue a statement saying that they don't know what the future holds concerning Princess Elizabeth's enrollment at Harvard. Because technically speaking, she would not be able to be enrolled or continue to study if Trump is allowed to do this to the university. Now today, a federal court blocked Trump's decision, but that's only temporary. So if this goes into effect, Belgium's future queen may not be able to enroll at Harvard. It just shows that these policies impact everyone, from monarchs all the way down to just an average person in America. As always, spread the word. I'll do a full breakdown on my Substack, link to my bio, so subscribe for free and follow along for all the news you need to know about.
Let's be clear. This has nothing to do with combating anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism is a real problem. It's a problem at Harvard. It's a problem in our country. But these policies will do nothing to combat this age-old hatred. We will not stand for this. Not the Harvard community and not the Jewish community.
If we show enough resistance, then he is going to fold. That's how Trump works. But if we start to give in, even just a little, fire a few controversial professors or stop admitting a certain type of students, then he's going to continue. He's going to come back for even more. He's going to ask for a list of 100 names of Harvard students who have participated in a protest just like me. He's going to fire every economics professor that speaks up against his tariffs, or a law professor who simply teaches about the Constitution.
The Trump administration is directing all government agencies to cancel their federal contracts with Harvard University, totaling some $100 million, the latest in the president's assault against Harvard. Now, all of this information is coming via a letter from the General Services Administration being sent to these agencies on Tuesday, one that I obtained, and it's also directing them to consider alternate vendors rather than Harvard. Now, Harvard University has really become a symbol of the president, but also that of his closest advisors, idea that it represents the liberal woke front. And really, we've seen Harvard kind of bear the brunt of the administration's assault on higher education. Now, we've also seen the Trump administration move to revoke Harvard's tax-exempt status, freeze billions of dollars in grant money for the university, and to also bar international students from enrolling in Harvard. Now, all of this, as we've heard from the president of the university, saying none of this is helping neither the students of Harvard or the general public.
The money that goes to research universities in the form of grants and contracts, which is almost all of the federal support that we get, is used to pay for work that we perform at the behest of the government.
And we know this because of where Trump started. Power, we win. And afraid for their futures. The attack on Harvard and its international students is part of a deeper effort to defund and dismantle the academic world. It's an attempt to reroute our brightest researchers into private corporations, stripping academic institutions of their power.
Part of the problem with Harvard is that there are about 31%, almost 31% of foreigners coming to Harvard.
History proves it. When students push back against oppression, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! I said when immigrants are under attack.
Thank you, you're here now. Welcome here.
The administration's excuse for these policies that they somehow address anti-Semitism are so absurd. Let's be clear. This has nothing to do with combating anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism is a real problem. It's a problem at Harvard. It's a problem in our country. But these policies will do nothing to combat this age-old hatred.
Thank you. And now, let's please fight between Democrats and Republicans. This is a fight for democracy. Donald Trump doesn't actually care about Harvard. He He wants to take Harvard down because universities stand for free ideas and for free speech. Free ideas and free speech get in the way of authoritarians.
Amazing. We have a great lineup of people.
We got AUP, NYT, Manhattan chapter.
Trump is also proposing, just now, to review the social media feeds of student visa applicants, presumably so that he can screen out those who disagree with him. Shame.
Now today, you'll hear from a group of students and faculty, both domestic and voice is loud and clear. Every student's welcome here. Every student's welcome here.
Harvard has to show us their lists. They have foreign students. About 31% of their students are foreign-based, almost 31%. We want to know where those students come. Are they troublemakers? What countries do they come? And we're not going to, if somebody is coming from a certain country and they're 100% fine, which I hope most of them are, but many of them won't be, you're going to see some very radical people. They're taking people from areas of the world that are very radicalized, and we don't want them making trouble in our country. So I saw yesterday that in the middle of the UK, there was a nice young man. He wants to go back to school at Harvard, and he looked good to me, but I want to check his past. But we want to be able to see why, these countries aren't helping us. They're not investing in Harvard and all of our, we are. So why would 31%, why would a number so big? I think, number one, I think they should have a cap of maybe around 15%, not 31%. We have people who want to go to Harvard and other schools. They can't get in because we have foreign students there. But I want to make sure that the foreign students are people that can love our country.
News out of DC that's got students, universities, and frankly, a lot of people around the world pretty shaken. The Trump administration just ordered all U.S. embassies to halt student visa appointments. Yep, that means no more new F, M, or J visas, at least for now. Why? According to a leaked cable obtained by Politico, it's all part of a plan to ramp up social media vetting for international students. Basically, no new appointments while they figure out how deep they want to dig through your posts. Now, this isn't just a policy tweak, it's a massive deal. The US hosted over 1.1 million international students last year, and they brought in nearly $44 billion to the US economy. From tuition, rent, food, you name it. But Trump, he's on the offensive against elite universities, specifically Harvard.
Many will be okay, I assume. And I assume with Harvard, many will be bad.
He's called them woke, anti-Semitic, and even threatened to strip $3 billion in funding and give it to trade schools instead.
And they're really not behaving well, so it's too bad.
He's demanding Harvard hand over a list of all foreign students, claiming they're hiding radicalized lunatics. Harvard's fighting back, though, calling it a violation of the First Amendment and due process, and a federal judge has temporarily blocked the visa cancellation. This isn't just a fight about visas, it's a political war over who gets to learn in America and who decides what education looks like. Stay tuned, it's far from over.
We have breaking news in the battle between the Trump administration and the nation's oldest and most prestigious university. A judge has now blocked the Trump administration from revoking Harvard University's ability to enroll international students, who currently make up roughly 27% of the entire student body. The administration had tried to institute a ban, accusing Harvard of creating an unsafe campus environment by allowing anti-American agitators to harass Jewish students. But in Harvard's lawsuit just this morning, they argued that the Trump administration is carrying out a campaign of retribution.
President is more interested in giving that taxpayer money to trade schools, in programs, in state schools, where they are promoting American values, but most importantly, educating the next generation based on skills that we need in our economy and our society, apprenticeships, electricians, plumbers. We need more of those in our country and less LGBTQ graduate majors from Harvard University. And that's what this administration's position is. And we also are not going to tolerate the illegal, criminal, anti-Semitic behavior that we saw take place at Harvard and many other college campuses across the country.
Meanwhile, while Hong Kong will welcome any students who have been discriminated by the U.S. policy, who face difficulties to study or continue their studies in the U.S. universities. So I want this message to go out to any students who face discriminated and unfair treatment in the U.S., so that they know that Hong Kong's doors are wide open to them to come to study in the universities of Hong Kong.
You guys have seen that video of the guy from Hong Kong saying that Hong Kong is willing to take any international students from the US that feel unwelcomed, persecuted, unsafe, which is honestly all of them thanks to this president. We have over 1 million international students studying in the US right now. Literally smartest fucking kids in the room. You want to get an A on your group project? Go find the Chinese guy. You want to get a good study partner? Get an A in math? Go find the Indian guy in your class. And the president's big plan is to ban them from Harvard and send their scholarships off to some welding school in Nebraska. And while I love the idea of sending money to trade schools, I think it's important. You cannot do it at the cost of our innovation, okay? Maybe if he wasn't building a giant fucking gold dome, he could invest in all of the trade schools in America. Something like 50 to 60% of the graduate students in STEM degrees right now in the US are international. You guys like your phone? Thank them. You guys like going and getting an MRI? Thank them. You guys like that TikTok filter that gives you abs? That was probably an international student on an F1 visa. Now Hong Kong is like, hey, if the US is being weird, come on over. And if I was a student, I'd be on the first fucking flight. Guys, they have free housing. It's an international hub, and they got bomb-ass dumplings. China isn't stealing our future. We are handing it over to them on a silver platter, all because Barron couldn't get into fucking Harvard. At this point, they just need to make t-shirts for the people on the right that say, make China great again, because that's all this president is doing, and you guys are enabling him.
Harvard just did something kind of wild, and barely anybody's talking about it. They're offering free college-level courses online for every U.S. citizen. And not just random stuff. We're talking about how the U.S. government actually works, what's really in the Constitution, and how to recognize when a country is sliding towards dictatorship. And yeah, that means I go to Harvard now, and so do you. Seriously though, this isn't a drill. This is one of the most prestigious schools in the world that just gave us all a front row seat to the kind of education that used to be locked behind Ivy League gates. And now they're teaching us how power is supposed to work and what it looks like when things are starting to break down. It hasn't officially launched yet, but when it does, I'm signing up, because if there's ever been a time to understand how our democracy works and how to keep it from slipping away, I'd say that time is probably right about now. And, you know, if you're looking for a job, it's always nice to have Harvard on your resume, right?
Recently, the Trump administration announced plans to revoke approximately $100 million in federal contracts with Harvard University. White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt justified this decision by stating that taxpayer funds should support or redirect more taxpayer money towards vocational training for electricians and plumbers, and less on supporting LGBTQ graduate majors at elite institutions like Harvard. This stance has ignited a firestorm of criticism. Advocates argue that such comments marginalize LGBTQ communities and devalue the importance of diverse academic disciplines. Harvard, known for its commitment to inclusivity and academic freedom, has pushed back against these claims, emphasizing the value of a comprehensive education that embraces all identities and fields of study. The administration's approach raises critical questions. Should federal funding be used as a tool to enforce specific educational agendas? What message does this send to LGBTQ students and professionals? And how does this align with the broader goals of a diverse and inclusive society? As we navigate these complex issues, it's essential to consider the broader implications of prioritizing certain educational paths over others, and the potential consequences of politicizing academic funding. If this video provided insight into the ongoing debate between the Trump administration and Harvard University, please consider liking and sharing it to foster informed discussions. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analysis on current events and policies affecting our society. Just a quick note, full credit goes to the original creators of these videos. Stay informed, stay engaged, and let's continue to advocate for inclusivity and academic freedom. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.